Hey everyone, and welcome to another daily video from Shopify Dropshipping Lifestyle. My name is Ricky Hayes, and in today's video we're going a little more personal. We're going into how I went from the typical 9 to 5 full-time job to full-time entrepreneur and loving it. Alright, so let's get straight into it. So I, for the most part, am a private person. I imagine that's like most people, let's be honest. But I wanted to give some context because a lot of people sort of ask about it, and I see, in my free Facebook group and all of this and that a lot of people ask me about, how did you leave your job? How did you get to where you are today? How much time did you invest? How much money do you invest? How much money do you make? All of those questions, and they're all relevant, of course. But it's all different per person, of course. So how I got into this was a good friend, my friend Luke, who I used to work with in a large business here in Australia, and our team had a get-together one night, Saturday night, and it was a lovely night, just pizza and drinks, good laughs, and it was getting later into the night, 11, 12, having such a good time, and I was just speaking with my mate Luke, and he told me that he was into, I said, what are your future aspirations for work? Because at the time I was, I guess I was in that, the only way to make money really is as a job, and we have aspirations to move up in our jobs and do other things, right? And he told me, look man, to be honest, I'm, trying to make money online, and he was making money through merch by Amazon. And he had however many designs and was making sales every day, and was, then looked at Etsy. He was the one that got me into Etsy in the first place. Can't take credit for that with Printful. And pretty much inspired me. And after that, I don't know why, I just got this driving feeling inside of me that I've never been a big fan of the workplace. I've never been a big fan of it. It's just never really, I guess, meshed with me, because frankly I'm just not a big fan of all the workplace antics. Anyway, and so I started getting into this, and I originally started with Merch by Amazon, and with Merch by Amazon you have to apply, and with Merch by Amazon it takes months before you're even accepted. Some people I heard even take 12 months, which is ridiculous, but it happens. Anyway, and so I applied, and at the time all I was focused on was Merch by Amazon, and so I did graphic design course. I signed up for a heap of these sort of online academy course things that I just did, and I learned a lot about graphic design, but graphic design's never really been my thing. It's just never been. I understand the concept, and that's why I'm glad I did all of that, because the concepts now make perfect sense to me. However, what I guess I realized is that doing graphic design itself is just not me. I'm a more logical, analytical person, whereas graphic design is a bit more of an artistic, broader approach, and my mind just doesn't work like that. Anyway, and so then I coincidentally found out about Shopify dropshipping, and got into that. I had no idea what I was doing. I don't even remember a lot of the specifics, if I'm honest. I started joining Facebook groups, a number of groups, and overwhelmed with all these terms like LLA, CA, CC, retargeting, one-day retargeting, all of this. It just confused me. I didn't get it. And I saw all these people getting these amazing figures. I'm like, I really want to do that. And then I made a store, as I've told many of you, called the Everyday Diary, which is now shut down if any of you are going to have a look, so go ahead. And it was a diary website. Foolish idea. At the time I thought it was good, because I thought, stationery. Everyone needs stationery. But I didn't know that was just a very difficult niche to really be in, and to be profitable. Anyway, dog's being a pain. And it took me months, but in the time, I learnt about a Shopify store, understanding the back end of it. It's gone through a lot of changes, apps, all of this scared me. There were so many times where I'm like, no, I don't want to do this, no. But I kept just doing it. Something just kept itching at me, And then throughout my journey, I ended up having lots of other, issues, which everyone has as well. Like I signed up, for getting a marketer to help me because I thought, oh yeah, well, that marketer was crap. I know 1,000 times more than that marketer will ever know. What a waste of money that was. That was over $1,500 I wasted on that, and that person knew nothing about marketing, and I was super pissed off. But again, I have no one to blame but myself, and I went through that, and that taught me a lot, because I knew a bit about marketing at the time, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get someone that really knows marketing, and they're really going to help elevate me. No, it made no difference, so I was really annoyed, and from that mistake I learned, well, no, I'm not going to get someone else to do my marketing for me, maybe I need a mentor. Then I did get a mentor, and admittedly, even then I found the mentor wasn't that good. I paid way too much. I paid over $2,000 for this mentor, and that was a monthly fee. And I paid it for 1 month, and that mentor was crap. And that was on me again, so you can see just between those two things, and both of this is in US, so that in Australia, and that's about $4,000 or $5,000 that I lost from that. I lost that money, but I invested. That I look now back as an investment. It taught me that, well, just getting someone to market for you is not smart because it means profit margin's much lower and you're not learning much. As well as then I got a mentor, and you have to be good with your mentors. Some of these mentors charge just ridiculous amounts, and this one I didn't like because the individual, was hardly able to get a hold of, and I was just so annoyed, all these questions, and you pay all this money and barely able to get a hold of the person because the person had like 20 people under him, and he's helping. Apparently all these people were making way too much for it, which I thought was ridiculous, and that really, really annoyed me. I then, at this stage I had my second store, and I got a number of sales, but still was not profitable at all. It was really hard trying to sell items for $10, and I was just struggling, and then ended up giving up on that store, and then because that was a general store, and then I went into a niche store, and that's where I really started to get my success. Was in niche was that I found that people were buying multiple. They were looking at my webpage more and more on my web pages. They were getting more return customers. I was able to tailor my marketing, my email marketing, my messenger marketing, text messages, everything. And however, I still wasn't profitable. In fact, I lost money. But again, and I think I lost a few $1,000s, after the expenditure of ads, because again, my product was just, it cost me $7 for the product, and I was selling it for $20. And Facebook was costing me at least $10 cost per purchase, $3 profit margin. Then there's, you have your Stripe or PayPal fees, and then obviously, you have refunds that inevitably happen, and all of this as well. And you're like, no, this is just not working. And there would be good days, there'd be bad days, but every day, even if there was a bad day and then an extremely good day, I wasn't making anything. I was but I was making nothing. In fact, I was losing money. But because then there was the Shopify, the apps and everything, and it was just hitting me. And I was sort of, I'm really stuck. That was at about the 6 month mark. I was stuck. I had lost at this stage about $7,000 at least in all of this. However, what I realized was that I kept a bit of a diary. To be honest, I don't do it as much as I should now, but a daily diary, which I'm getting back into. And I put down every day, just a sentence, what I learned today. And I kept doing that, and I'm back in that habit now of just doing that. And I looked back at that because the reason that I needed that was mainly because I was in a rut. I was stuck. I did not like my job at all. I did not like where it was going because it was not satisfying in the least. I knew that there were people making money online. I don't care about if they were making $10 million online, if it was $4,000 online, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they were making money online. They were actually making it, and I wasn't, and I really felt left out. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that. And the thing is that we've all been there, including myself. I've been there a lot. We have self-doubt, and then you feel like giving up. You feel like, it works for others. Maybe they've been doing it longer, or maybe they've gotten this, because I was self-justifying things is what I was really starting to do. I was trying to justify the fact that I wasn't getting results and that others were, and trying to make it look like, they've gotten some advantage over me, that blah blah. But the reality is they probably haven't, And in fact, they hadn't. And they've just probably gone through different ups and downs, and they'll continue to do that. Same as myself. And then it was at the 6-month mark where I made my next store, which was higher ticket products. Rather than selling $20 to $30 items, it was pretty much $50 plus. And that's where I found that, yeah, okay, it gets scary. It's scary, like, if I sell this for $10, people are just going to instant buy it, right? No, that's actually not the case, because if you're something like Wish.com, then yeah, that'll work. Why? Because Wish has spent millions of dollars on branding themselves as a trusted business that you can buy these products from and be assured that you're going to get the product. They built that trust. Whereas us as small-time entrepreneurs, small-time businesses, we don't have that trust. There's billions of people out there that don't know us. You go to most people down the street, they'll know what Wish.com is. They'll know what Amazon is. And so they're very different mindset. At the end of the day, marketing is psychology. And this is what I started to realize. So I thought, well, drop shipping for me, I find, then I decided to sell high ticket. And it was harder to get sales. Your conversion rate goes lower. However, you have more flexibility with how much you spend. So a product cost me $15. I sell it for $49.99, sorry. And, I have a $35 profit margin. And all of a sudden I can spend $20 and still have $15 left over. Or, whatever it is after expenses. And all of a sudden, if I'm making $10 in my pocket per purchase, and I make 10 of those a day, that's $100 I made a day in my back pocket from 10 purchases. Okay, I might not have hit $10,000 in revenue a day, but I'm making that money. And that's where I really started to really get success. Thank you, Susie. was when that happened, and that was when I really started to get into it, and my passion came back. Because of course, once you get that passion, that traction, you see that cha-ching, and you're like, yes, but you're still at work. That's the thing, is I was still stuck at work, and I'm like, I know there's so much opportunity out there. I knew there was so much opportunity out there, and it was scary. This was the part that's scary, because it's getting traction, and today I still get a lot of traction. In fact, a ridiculous amount. But, that scary part where it's like, okay, I know this is real, and I am making it real. I can make this happen. Taxes, all of that'll come into it. I'll make that work. But, you still have bills to pay. You want to travel. You want to pay off whatever debts you have. All of that is what I had too. And, you're wanting to pay all this off, and you're getting scared, and you're sort of like, I really want to leave my job because I'm not satisfied. But at the same time, my job is the only thing that's secure, because you immediately think, or what I was thinking was that, oh no, but it could just blow over tomorrow, and that could happen. And you think, no. And then I would start going into that whole, oh no, I should just stay in the workplace where it's safe and secure. See how it's the same thing is like the same with Wish.com, Amazon, eBay, any of these, safe and secure. If people feel safe and secure, they're going to buy. It's like the same as if I feel safe and secure, I'm going to stay there, even against my will in many regards. And like the same with the job, safe and secure, because it was a job that I had a full-time permanent position in, and of that income. So I was like, yes. And then obviously being a self-employed entrepreneur was unstable, unknown, frowned upon by many people because people don't understand it. And so of course all that negative emotion would cloud your judgment, and it clouded my judgment, and I become very scared. I'm very fortunate, however, in the fact that what happened was I have my lovely partner Kira, who was very supportive and encouraging, and still to this day is. And she was encouraging me to try this, to try something different and give it a shot. We were going to make it work. And, it took many months of justification of this and that. And then, I started to, by that time I had 2 stores. I had multiple sources of income from multiple stores, my Etsy store, affiliate income. I had all these different sources, and I wanted to have that so that obviously if A, B, C, then D and E obviously take its place type scenario. That's what your goal is, diversification. And once I had that, and I knew my expenses, against how much I was getting. I felt a lot more comfortable about it. It's how I sort of justified it. And then I was able to leave. And ever since, it's been about over 3 months, admittedly, it's been over 3 months that I've been doing this full time, and everything's only just gotten better. There's been issues, I've had ups and downs. I've had days that have been unprofitable and it's been scary. It happens, and since doing my YouTube, there's been haters. My Facebook group, there's been haters. There's been so many people that have messaged me with hate. So many people, on the other hand, though, have messaged me with so much overwhelming support, and I've overcome so many fears as well. Since making my free group, I was like, oh, no one's going to join. To this day, I've got over 3,500 members in that group, and that's very selective with who gets in, because as many of you that follow me know, is I'm very specific with who gets in to try and help stop scammers and all of that and make you all feel safe and secure. And then, I was debating about what do I do next? And, started doing a few coaching calls, and, immediately then got some haters. And again, this was scary. The reason I want to put this is that, it's scary. And, because we don't want to piss people off. But the reality is that I've learned that I'm just going to piss people off, and I'm just going to wash off. If I piss you off, then that's fine. There's a million other YouTubers you can watch that are probably far more intelligent than me and good looking, whatever. And that's fine. I really don't care. That's your choice. And, then I started my private Facebook group, and just last night, in fact, people have had a go at me about that. And I have other programs that I'm starting to create that I'm going to bring into it, because I'm overcoming my fears, okay? And what I'm trying to, I guess, illustrate here is that we do need the money, but the biggest thing is our fears. Our fears is our worst enemy, and that's why I really want to encourage you. I want to relate, because I'm no different. I go through these ups and downs all the time myself. It may look like, I'm getting these amazing figures, and that's what I do get. However, that doesn't change the fact that my emotional state is that I go through ups and downs too. I've seen plenty of YouTubers, plenty of other people who have these amazing figures. They go through emotional breakdowns because, again, behind the scenes, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily happy. On the front screen, they may be, and that's the reality of it. We're human, and that's why it's important that I make this video, so you understand that you are able to do this. It is hard. It's not getting cheaper. People are starting to use Google pay-per-click. I'm using that more now. I'm still using Facebook, still using Instagram. I want to build organic methods. Okay, organic is the ultimate goal. If it costs, because all of a sudden that $10 product, if it's an organic sale and it costs you $2, you've still made $8, as opposed to marketing, which probably costs you $5 cost per purchase, and you've made a couple of bucks. It makes a big difference, and that's why I'm trying to promote that as much as possible. I'm trying to promote the fact that you can do this. So many people say that they can't do it, that they want to quit, and that this is too hard, and they've spent nothing. And they see these other people, and inevitably you think, what am I doing wrong? You start to get jealous. You start to feel like you're downing yourself. You get down. The thing is that they go through that too, and you don't know their backstory. You don't know if they're profitable. You don't know this. You don't know that. At the end of the day, you just have to try and take their advice, take it in consideration, and try and apply it to yourself. And that's what I've learned is that just take in the 99% of what you see is not relevant. It's that 1% that you do see that is relevant. It's like how I'm sure that many of you have your favorite YouTuber, that 99% of the YouTubers you don't follow, you're not interested, but there is 1% that you do, you follow wholeheartedly. And I hope that's me. But my point is that that's pretty much my journey. And to this day, the work doesn't stop. The work has just changed. So what it means, I actually work more. So like I forgot to mention as well, I should say, that when I was at work, I was working a 9 to 5, and then I was coming home from, 5:30, pretty much just having a quick dinner, and then working till midnight. And that was it. And then I'd get up at about 6, 7, try and do some work, go to work, and then I was trying to even actually do work at work, and that's obviously frowned upon. But it was so hard to juggle all of that, and then you have your personal life and that, and trying to socialize, and it's just so I can completely understand the frustration that people go through. And then there's people that have parents, have kids, married, all of this, and it's like, holy shit, how? And I still see these amazing people doing amazing things, and I think That is just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. For everyone that's doing this, you should always be proud. And that's why I want to make these videos, because I like to bring these out every now and again to continually remind you. Like I've legitimately seen someone, kid you not, an ad on Facebook spend $1 and not get a sale, and they want to quit. Okay, and I'm not joking. That actually happened, and it was sort of. Did you think that a business can just become a multi-million-dollar business on a dollar? You know that, and just there's being optimistic and there's being completely unrealistic, and that's what I'm trying to put here. Anyway, and so after I left, then I was even in a worse state in many regards. You know why? I actually had left work for the purpose of living life more, so that I could, you know, go outside, be with my partner more, read books, go for walks, go for rides, you know, socialize with my friends more. That's the goal. Really, at the end of the day, that's the goal for most of us. And then travel and stuff. I'm sure many of you can do without the sports car for the happiness of going for a walk with your family, and because it's a fucking car. And but I found that after I left work, right? What do you think happened? What do you think happened? Okay, I worked harder and I actually stressed myself out even more. I was like, I need to make this money. I need it, because I didn't have that reassurance of that continual income. Yeah, okay, before I left work, I was making this on top of that. But I always had that, because I was always like, I don't know what's going to happen. But this was always the same. You know, a very big difference between the two. And I was stressing myself out. And believe it or not, it has taken me over 2 months, 2 to 2.5 months, to overcome that. Okay, so only in the last month or so have I really changed my life. You know, so the whole process has been about it's been 12-13 months for me to completely change my life from being 9 to 5, going through all these issues, and that's obviously only touching the tip of the iceberg, you know, giving you the overview. I'm sure there's many things I've forgotten, but to the point where I am now, where I have time, because I've automated my businesses. I've made good business connections. You know, I understand the tools I'm using. I'm learning more, but taking my time. I'm not stressing about it, because I know I have this income. I'm getting it every day. Every day I'm getting it. And that's my way of reassuring myself and comforting myself. And now, because of that, I'm far more relaxed. You know, I'm able to now, I would barely watch other people's YouTube and stuff like that before, because I didn't have time and I was stressed about other things. Now I do, and I'm learning more. I'm getting more into other avenues for marketing. I'm doing more coaching, becoming more a mentor. I'm spending more time with my partner, of course, you know, doing more things around the place, which I love. And that's where I'm at now. And now my next goal is to bring more programs out there, bring more haters, because thank you, give me more organic reach on YouTube. So thank you. So comment. And what was I going with this? I've forgotten. Oh, yeah, and just pushing myself to that next level now. So now I'm really pushing the business to the next level, solidifying them as brands, not just a business, but a brand. And now I'm moving more into other forms of mentoring, coaching. I have big plans there, but I'm taking my time and I'm enjoying the ride more. And so, to give you an idea, as I said, so it's been over 14 months to get to this point. Now, there's a lot of people that have admittedly spent a lot more time to get to this point, and good on them. But 14 months is a long time, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, that you're in this situation, you've been in this situation, whatever. It's hard, it's not easy, it's never going to be. I don't know if tomorrow that my businesses could just flop. Who knows? I don't know. And then I might need to find another job. But that's my goal, is to never find another job, and that's why I have multiple businesses, and that's why I'm diversifying myself. And that's what you'll all start to do, is you build your knowledge, you build your brands, and you diversify your income, then you'll diversify it further, and so that if 7 of your 10 failed, then the last 3 will still keep going, and you make another 7. And that just keeps spinning like that, okay? And that's that's the point of being an entrepreneur. Anyone can do this. It really isn't that hard. It's about really understanding the tools, understanding your audience, and being proactive at the end of the day. And those are all just mindset for the most part. And so anyone can do it. You can do it. And that's what I wanted to just encourage you all, that anyone can do it. There's no one better than others. It's not because people have a marketing degree. It's not because people have a graphics design degree. It's not because of this, not because of that. It simply just comes down to that you're going to have to fail heaps upon heaps of times before you start to see those victories and wins. Okay, I still fail every day. I still see issues with my stores, and I have to fix them. I've had theme issues, integration issues, all of this, and this happens every day. Issues with my ads, staff just fucking off and pissing me off, stuff like that. So my point is that I wanted to show you who I am. This is who I am. This is where I've been. This is where I am, where I'm going to be. And this is the journey, a very similar journey that you're all going to take. For the people that are truly wanting to make this into their life, that's the journey you're going to take, okay? You're going to have to get used to that you're going to have 99 fails before you get one victory. And once you get that into your mind that that's just going to happen, and that's the way that this business rolls, then you're going to be fine. Because the thing is that I look at, in most regards, I look at a fail now as an opportunity for growth. Okay, if someone gives me feedback, and there's going to be positive and negative feedback, but if I see feedback regardless, that means, and whether it's on my stores, whether it's personally, whatever, it doesn't mean that I've failed. It just means that there's somewhere that I can improve on. And that means to me that I can continually evolve and grow as a person. And that's how you should look at it too, because you're all amazing. We're all amazing. We're all in on this together. We're a big family, okay? So that's all from today's video. I hope this has helped and inspired you to some degree. I really, really was sort of hesitant to bring this out. It's scary for me too. I like to keep private life, but at the same time, I think it's important that you know that this is me and that I am the exact same as you, okay? So once again, thank you very much for your time. If you did like today's video, hit the like, comment below, and hit the subscribe button. There's a free cheat sheet down below as well, okay? Completely free. All you do is throw an email, you get a cheat sheet, and it'll get you started. So many people have used that cheat sheet and it's gotten amazing results. If you do want a coaching call with me, I do a couple a week. There's a link down below if you are interested in coaching. I do have my premium group as well, which is for a group dedicated to mentoring, where I help everyone, and it's a fantastic group, growing, love it. And I have plenty of other little initiatives on the way, okay? But if you are new to Shopify, there's a 14-day free trial down below as well. I definitely encourage you to get into Shopify, because the thing is, you're going to learn so many skills that's going to help you for the rest of your life, okay? That's the thing, is I've lost thousands of dollars, and I still think about it, just thinking about the fact that I've lost thousands of dollars, but I've gained infinite amount of knowledge in return, okay? And now that you understand who I am, now you can understand what things you shouldn't do, and now you can go out there and make some money, okay? So you all have a lovely day. Thank you for your time. Take care. Goodbye.